All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Again, I want to thank you all for your tremendous support. People are slowly and surely finding out about who we are and what we do. And as we have stated before, we do this because we enjoy it as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. Dallas Cowboys, 2021 Dallas Cowboys, Week 3, Monday night, home opener, a dominating 41-21 victory over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Let's jump right into our numbers here. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 21 of 26 attempts, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And this is the first game back at AT&T Stadium since his horrific leg injury against the New York Giants 1 year ago. Ezekiel Elliott, 17 carries, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, 11 carries, 60 yards. Dalton Schultz, 6 catches, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 3 catches, 66 yards, including one 44-yarder that set up the Cowboys' opening scoring drive. On the defensive side, Jaron Kearse, 5 total tackles, 3 solo. Anthony Brown, 4 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 interception. Jalen Smith, 4 total tackles, 4 solo. Leighton Vander Esch, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Micah Parsons, the rookie sensation, 4 total tackles, 3 solo, 0.5 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss, and numerous pressure inside. Other rookie, Osa Odighizuwa, 4 total tackles, 2 solo, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss. And Trayvon Diggs, 1 interception return for a touchdown. So the Cowboys, from the opening whistle, came out and took it right to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that deep bomb to CeeDee Lamb definitely set up the first score. And it was pretty much all Cowboys from that point on. So in terms of the good, there was a lot of good, actually. So, I mean, the first half was dominating. They dominated every aspect of the game. Now, if we are to, let's pick apart some negatives or some things that can be improved upon. Now, yes, and you might call me a gloomy Gus. Well, damn, JD, the Cowboys won big. Okay, are you not happy? Yes, I'm happy. But, of course, the goal is to always strive to be better, to clean up some of the things that should not have happened. Case in point, what set up the Philadelphia Eagles' first offensive score was the Cowboys, which I was trying to figure out when Anthony Brown got that interception, and they called it that his momentum carried him in the end zone. I get it. So Cowboys get the ball back deep in their own territory. Dak Prescott drops back in the end zone. The center, Tyler Biadasz, is totally just bulled back by the Philly defender. Dak Prescott fumbles, and the Eagles got the first touchdown that was recovered by the great defensive tackle, Fletcher Cox. So, again, those things shouldn't happen. There was another sequence where the Cowboys were backed up deep in their own territory. Again, they are in the shotgun from their own end zone, and it was another play where Dak almost got hit again. So those are some things that really shouldn't happen when you're literally backed up deep in your own territory and you're literally in your own end zone, because bad things can happen. The offensive line gave up 4 sacks. Now, some might say that's not too bad considering that you're missing Lyle Collins, considering that, I don't really look at it that way. 4 sacks are 4 sacks. So I don't, the offensive line has to tighten up there. But the issue wasn't really with Terrence Steele today. The issue was with Connor Williams, who had 3 holding penalties. So we're going to have to clean that stuff up. Tyler Biadasz, too, was getting bulled back into Dak Prescott. So I don't know if more squats are needed, more bench presses needed to start building our strength up. But the fact that Connor Williams really didn't, and he's been a solid performer since really solidifying himself as the left guard, but he really didn't have his best game with 3 holding penalties. So those are things that have to be improved upon. On the defensive side, even with the turnovers, the pick 6 by Diggs who really, I thought, played lights out today. And even with the interception with Anthony Brown, the first good play that he's made all season, there was a lot of miscommunication, especially when covering the tight ends. So there's a couple plays where you had the tight ends, whether it's Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert, just streaming, down the field wide open. So I don't know where the miscommunication was there. So those are some things that I will hope that they do clean up going forward, because those type of things should not happen. There was also a sequence in the fourth quarter when the Cowboys were clearly driving the ball, because the Cowboys really had the way with the Eagles, especially on the offensive line. And there was some plays where there was clearly, they didn't know what plays that they were running, where it was one play where Zeke lined up as a wide receiver in the slot. And I don't know if Dak thought Zeke was supposed to be behind him, but he looks behind him and he takes off running. So I was like, why is that happening? Of course, we can laugh about it now in a game that they were comfortably ahead in, but those things really shouldn't happen with professional athletes, because those are, again, could be wasted possessions as the competition starts to intensify as we progress during the NFL season. So those are some things. Kellen Moore, some of his play calling. Now, people are ready to anoint him as the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Like I told the guy on Twitter, DA, I told him, I said, I'm not quite sold on that just yet, because in the first half, the Cowboys was pretty much running the ball down the Eagles' throats. And the second half, you're coming out passing the ball, which now we're exposing to Dak Prescott to more hits. There was a read option run with Dak. He kept the ball, and of course, very cognizant of his injury. He's now sliding. There was another play where he had Dak rolling out. Nobody was wide open. Dak takes a direct blast. So that was my thing. I was like, if they're running the ball against the Eagles and they're pretty much are dominating the line of scrimmage, we should keep running the ball and pound the clock out. Don't put these guys, especially your quarterback, in a position to be getting teed off on, because the Eagles were really going for broke. So definitely a dominating performance, a good performance. Definitely, with the Eagles only having 64 yards rushing, even Jalen Hurts had 326 yards passing, but a lot of them were those empty calories in garbage time. So the defense played well as a whole. So let's just keep the thing going. For you Philadelphia Eagles fans, let me say this. And to head coach Nick Sirianni, while you're wearing t-shirts that says beat Dallas, how did that work out for you? I guess it didn't work out too well. So you're going to take your ass whooping and head on back to Philadelphia and lick your wounds along with the cheesesteak. And my thing with Eagles fans is this, and can somebody, if you know any Eagles fans right now, and I know there's quite a few of you listening, so please, all y'all gather in the room, because I'm going to say something that's very profound and something I'm really going to just pull the lid off of lies and falsehoods that you have told yourself and you have convinced yourself and passed on to your children through generations. This rivalry that you all speak of with the Dallas Cowboys, I hate to break the news to you, we don't give a damn for you. We really don't. We don't think of the Eagles as a rivalry. The Eagles think of us as a rivalry. I've had Eagles fans during the week, hey, we're going to beat Cowboys, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Funny, my phone hasn't ring. I haven't received not one text message from the Eagles fans. You Eagles fans, you're awfully quiet. And again, we don't think about you like you think about us. So let that sink in. Again, Eagles fans, we don't care for you. We don't care what you have going on. We don't think about you. You all think about us. You all consider us a rivalry. We don't consider you all a rivalry because we don't care for you. It's the functional equivalent of the woman you had a one-night stand with who you never called her back and you never thought about her after you hit it. That's kind of the same thing. We don't think about y'all. So y'all let that sink in for you Eagles fans that's listening to the program right now. No shade to anybody, but that's just some reality for you. We don't think about you all like you think about us or like you think that we think about you. So the Cowboys moving on from this win. They have a game next week, so now they're playing their second game at home, playing against the undefeated and surprising Carolina Panthers. So, and we owe the Panthers one because in 2018, we opened the season at Carolina. The Cowboys lost that game, and Dak Prescott in 2019 lost to one Sam Darnold when he was playing for the New York Jets. So, as great as this win was, to go 1-0 in the division, to have the best record in the division, let's keep this thing going. As soon as they walked off the field, it's time to start preparing, especially on a short week. And by the way, they're playing the early game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So you've gone from a Monday night game to playing a Sunday 1 o'clock game. So as good as this win was, they need to start prepping for Sunday because they have an undefeated team coming in to play. And again, it should be another good football game. Now, we talked about the offensive line missing somebody, and that somebody would be La'el Collins. Now, we watched the story, or we read the story last week, and we just had to opine on this because we sat on it. And when I read the story, I couldn't believe what I was reading. So, of course, we all know that La'el Collins was suspended 5 games for violation of the league's substance abuse policy. As more information came out, it turns out it was a result of missed drug tests. Well, per NFL rules, if you miss a drug test, that constitutes a drug test failure. So the players know this. But apparently, La'el Collins had permission or had excused absences from these missed drug tests. I don't see 4 or 5 of them missed, but I guess you had excused absences for all of them. Then I read an article, and I read this when it first came out. It wasn't until today when your mainstream media really talked about this. But I found something that was rather surprising where through the NFLPA and those excused absences, they were ready to reduce his suspension down from 5 games down to 2 games. So again, you don't have to worry about serving a full 5-game suspension. So having a reason for these excused absences, missing drug tests, that 5-game suspension was originally a 2-game suspension. This big fool decides to want to fight the 2-game suspension because maybe he thought he was going to find a technicality. I know some people want to put it on Jerry Jones, but that's a grown man at 6 feet something, 300 something pounds. So that's a grown man with his own mind. So you decide to fight the 2-game suspension. They give you a 5-game suspension, and they come to find out he tried to bribe the drug test collector. Folks, where in the hell do they do that at? Okay. There's the same La'el Collins who, through no fault of his own, was rated as a first-round draft pick, was an undrafted player due to an issue that really had nothing to do with him. So through no fault of his own, his stock dropped. But this kind of behavior does concern me because pretty soon La'el Collins is going to want some money. Pretty soon he's going to want to come on a contract year. And this is what you do, La'el? I get it. You missed drug tests. They gave you an out to take the 2 games, which if you look at the 2 games, you would have been ready to go this Sunday against Carolina. But your silly ass, I don't know who you listen to, who was in your ear, who was your advisor, some friend of yours told you to go ahead and fight this. And how these type of plea deal works, when you take the plea deal, you take the plea deal and call it a day. You can't fight the plea deal, lose whatever arbitration or meeting that you had. They give you 5 games, then you want to double back and say, well, can I take the 2 games? No, life doesn't work that way. And then you're bribing the drug sampler collector. Now, I would like to do some research and figure out how exactly did he bribe this person. Was it with money? Was it with jewels? Was it not take my urine sample? Whatever the case may be, but that's not a good look, and that's something we definitely have to share our thoughts on that. So La'el Collins, while you're sitting at home, y'all somebody get La'el, listen to this. Brother, that's the dumbest thing that you could possibly do. You're a damn good offensive lineman. You're a borderline Pro Bowl player. You should go to the Pro Bowl, but again, you're injured. Now you're facing a 5-game suspension. It's just that decision making for a team that's trying to get where they need to be. We need to have an offensive lineman on the field doing what they have to do. So that's just a little thing from us. And until the next time, this is Chin Check Radio signing out.